Most of you knew Walter Bricht only in one or two of his capacities. Perhaps some do not remember that he came to our School of Music not as a teacher of voice, but as a professor of piano. And he taught, of course, in the history of piano literature, among others. This alone gives you a clue to the versatility of the man. All those who were ever taught by Walter Bricht know that his was not just a superficial generalist's knowledge of his subject, but that he knew all there was to know, that he was acquainted with all there was for voices, for the keyboard, that he could discuss, quote, demonstrate, on the spur of the moment, from memory, any theme, any text, any passage, any harmony, in any selection, even recall inner voices of a symphonic texture. Some of the older students and we of the faculty knew him also as composer. An evening here in this hall was devoted to a sampling of his works. It acquainted some of us with at least a minute portion of his compositions. The major part of his life's work still awaits recognition, performance, and distribution in print. Few pages of music that you heard are from works written 20 or 30 years ago. The 100 or so songs, the big choruses, the ensemble works, and the symphonic compositions, while widely performed when Walter Bricht and I were young, wait for a day when their true value will be again recognized. His friends, I for one, are confident that that day will come, perhaps not even in our lifetime, because much of what is now touted as new, experimental, avant-garde will have to be sifted before a just balance between novelty for novelty's sake and intrinsic value can be established. Walter Bricht remained true to his deepest musical convictions and was up to date at the same time. This makes hearing the last works of Walter Bricht such a remarkable experience. These works, written after a silence of some 20 years, during which personal grief and world disasters made creativity impossible for a nature like Walter Bricht's, are miraculous, because they show that while outwardly silent, the composer's subconscious assimilated all the innovations of expanded tonality, musical organization, and palette of timbres. The chaconne for string quartet, the trio for flute, cello, and piano, and the sonata for flute and piano, his last works, are as up-to-date as anything that is likely to be of lasting value. But even if you all knew his abilities and knowledge of vocal and piano music and composition, you could not know what a sensation he created in Vienna when he, probably for the first time in that city of musical tradition, when he conducted a cyclic performance of the 6 Brandenburg concertos, cleansed of 19th century romantic patina, but yet vibrant and full-bodied. You could not know how many great opera singers came to him for guidance and study, how many great instrumental virtuosos chose him as their favorite collaborator, how many first performances depended on his ability in playing from score, rehearsing and coaching, and even if you knew all this as I do, you would miss Walter Bricht, the wit, the storyteller, the collector of puns, and the eagle-eyed sleuth of newspaper misprints. Walter Bricht, the ever young, who never looked back with nostalgia to the good old days, but who awoke each morning as to a new adventure, even in these last years when his body was ailing and only his spirit kept him alive. Few of us newcomers found a true new home in this country as much as he did. Yet, he could have looked back with more nostalgia to what he had lost than most of us refugees from Hitler's tyranny. His home was a musical center, and he knew and was known by all that were famous in the Vienna of our youth. His mother had been a friend of both Brahms and Hugo. His father was a distinguished music critic. He himself was soon recognized as the extraordinary young artist that he was. When he left all this behind, because of one of the most insane measures ever imposed by a dictator, Walter Bricht was never a Jew. His father and mother were not Jews. But in Nazi Germany, an artist's ancestry had to be pure Aryan, whatever that is, back for 3 generations. When he left Vienna behind, he truly did it with confidence in the future and with the full intention to contribute all that was in him to the haven he found here. And the Lord knows it was not always easy for him and those like him who came without fanfare and who were by nature unable to be their own press agents. Before closing, allow me to say just a word about what I, as an individual and as a musician, owe to Walter Bricht, whom I could call my friend. Our ages were only a few years apart, but a few years make a lot of difference when one is young. More important still, Walter was far ahead of me in musicality, talent, experience, and savoir-faire. His teaching was a decisive factor in my development, as it was in the development of all whom he taught. To be his friend meant the coming true of an ardent wish for me. Finally, to be his colleague was an unhoped-for joy for me during these last years here in the School of Music. His joining the faculty lets his friends share in the sorrow that befell the ones close to him, to rejoice in the success of their musical abilities, of which he was so proud, and to assist them in the days ahead. His death, though feared and not unexpected, is for his children, for me, and all those who were close to him, a summons to dedicate ourselves anew to his standard of humanity and honesty in music, to keep his memory alive by word and deed, and to hand down to the youth that will succeed us the ideal of the musician who serves his holy art with all he has to give, be his endowment ever so humble or ever so great, as was the endowment of the man whose passing today we mourn.